Hey guys, welcome back to the shop. Today we're going to be working on some metalworking dollies. So just picked these guys up. They came free with some tools I got, and they are very crusty. So I do want to put them into use, but first thing we got to do is clean them up. Alright, so this guy looks like he kind of came from the Titanic. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to chuck it in the vise in some soft jaws. And we're going to take a wire wheel to it and clean up all of this nasty deep scaling and see if we can find some steel living underneath that. So I got them cleaned up with the wire wheel. Unfortunately, that showed me what's underneath, and if you can see, there's a lot of deep pitting. And since this is a dolly we want to use for doing body work, we want this to be eventually be a mirror polish, nice and smooth. So unfortunately, I'm going to need to sand this down and get through all of that. So yeah, this one's the worst. This guy is not too bad. This will come up pretty fast. And then this one's kind of in between. Some of the faces are pretty rough, but then like right here on this edge is pretty smooth, so that'll come back. I'm gonna try to not touch that too much, just because I wanna keep that shape. But what we're going to do is clean this up with a flap disc, and if you're not careful with the flap disc, you can make a nice curve like this into kind of a thing with a bunch of flat spots. So yeah, let's go back into the vise and see how nice we can make this. Alright guys, so we spent some time on the belt sander. Now I'm going to use a roll-lock disc, and I think this is about 120 grit. I'm going to try to smooth that the best I can. Then we're going to go for some hand sanding. Then we're going to go back to the roll-lock on a kind of like Scotch-Brite disc and see where we go from there. Alright, got that sanded up to 600 grit. So now I'm going to take the superfine blue Scotch-Brite pad on the roll lock and get this a little bit shinier. Alright, there we go. That is polished with the blue roll lock disc. And as you can see, we're starting to get some shiny. You can see some reflection of my hand in there. But this isn't quite good enough. I mean, it's good enough, but without that much more effort, we can go one step further. So what we're going to do is bring the buffer over and just give these a quick little buff with some polishing compound and see if we can make it really shiny. There we go, got them all polished, and you can see a little bit shinier reflection in my hand. I don't know if it really did too much, and I definitely could have taken a little more time with these, but I do want to use them. So in general, the smoother and more polished you make this, the nicer it is to work with. I do have a couple scratches that I could probably have sanded out before polishing, but they are far and away better than what I was dealing with, which is the cheap little Harbor Freight set. So like, this is the equivalent of this tiny and kind of crap. And then I got that guy and that guy. And these are all hollowed out, super lightweight, don't really have the mass. But these are a little more professional, so even if it's not perfect, it'll definitely be better for me. This guy was probably a little too far gone. If you notice, there's still lots of heavy pitting. I was able to get most of that out of here, but this one is pretty much, there's a couple spots that are usable on this, but I wouldn't use anything around here because all that's going to do is just, all those voids are just going to kind of ruin your day. But it will do the job in a pinch. But these two came out pretty well, and those are very much usable. So I figured let's do a little bit of use. I don't have a car to work on right now. I'm not doing any body work, but we can illustrate some basics of some metal shaping. So I've got this guy right here. This is the cheap hammer that came with the Harbor Freight set, but if you notice, I've given that a nice polish. I've got a scrap of steel, and what we can do is, because this is domed, it's got a little bit of a radius to it, I can hammer in here, and I can actually stretch this material and kind of make this bowed up a little bit. And the other nice thing is that you'll see this is kind of a sanded, rough texture. The number of hits I do on this, every hit is going to transfer the polish from the hammer and the dolly onto the steel. So basically what you do is you're not only shaping it, but you're also polishing and smoothing it while you're doing that. And already, just from that, we've got a little bit of shape to that. So this, you could say, is maybe got a little curled. But if you're looking this way, we've got some dome into this. So you just keep going. And we've got lots of shape going into that right there, just a little bit. And if you look, you'll see we've got some polish. That's from the dolly. And we've got some polish right there. That's from the hammer. So if I try to straighten this out, you'll even see we've got rock that way, and if you look, if you can see it all, you can see a dome forming right here because all of this is constraining it. This is stretched and bubbled up, so it's got to go somewhere so it bubbles up. Alright, so that's going to be it for this project, but I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.